Welcome to another episode of OG55. I'm with the Italiano and special guest Sean from Walt's Apartment Productions. We are talking all about the future of the Disneyland Resort, Coco, Avatar, the 70th, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about it, break it down, speculate. Up next on OG55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. We're talking all about the future of the Disneyland Resort. We have a very special guest with us today, Sean. First time on the show, Sean. It's great to have you. How you doing?
I'm great. It's like I was telling you guys before, and this is surreal to be like sitting here. I've watched you guys for years, and I'm like, damn, I get to be on there and get to hear the music and George do his thing, and this is just the coolest damn thing in the world. Thank you guys for having me, and we're gonna have you on, guys. Have you guys on soon as well. So appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. I love your guys' content and your guys' analysis of stuff, deep dives. Great shit. So
well, appreciate that. Thank you. Our pleasure. Absolutely. And Sean, if you can just let everybody at home know where they can find you, like the podcast, the YouTube channel, all that good stuff.
We are literally everywhere. If you just Google Walt's Apartment Podcast, you can find it. It's very easy to find. We've been doing it for 4 years, so it's all over the place. So like I said, Instagram, Walt's Apartment Productions, TikTok, Walt's Apartment Productions, X is Walt's Apartment Podcast still. We haven't changed that. YouTube, Walt's Apartment. I mean, as soon as you look up Walt's Apartment, it's going to be either Walt's Apartment in Disneyland or it's going to be us. So it's like, if you Google it, it's going to be one of the two of us. So, and that was my idea when I named it. So that was that's why I did it. So
smart. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So make sure everybody at home, support them, follow them on the podcast, Absolutely. The YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And I'll be linking that also in the description down below. So make sure you check that out. And again, Sean, thank you so much for coming on, sir.
No, man. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. And Mr. Italiano. So you're gonna do the world famous spiel for us.
I got to do the world famous spiel. What could I say? But yeah, for everyone who would like to follow me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There he is. All right, let's talk about the future.
Best thing ever. That's the best. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. It's perfect. You had people, friends of the channel, come up to you at the park and ask you to do that recently.
Literally, they asked me, they're like, you got to do the world famous Italiano spiel. It's like, it set its own trademark at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive into the future of Disneyland Resort. So we were at D23 back in August. Did you go to D23, by the way, Sean?
I did not. Like 4 of my hosts were there, so they were like taking notes, sending us stuff in our Discord. Hey, this, and that. No, I did not go because I was in the process of job switch and stuff at the same time. But yeah, it's I had a bunch of people there on the ground, so we definitely had coverage of it.
Nice. Yeah, it was a wild experience at that Honda Center and everything. We were there, and we the parks panel, we were nervous, because we didn't know if Josh D'Amaro has been kind of iffy in the past with these expos, and he actually did deliver this time. He actually did give us quite a bit, but in those announcements, though, we still have a lot of question marks.
Oh my gosh, so many
with
where are all these shovels in the dirt? I have friends who've been looking. I have not seen these shovels in the dirt, so I'm curious where they're at. So
exactly
what's happening. So
yeah, exactly. Where are these shovels? Where are these shovels in the dirt? And where are these things going to go? So that's kind of my first question to you, Sean. Pandora. I mean, this would be based on the concept art alone, and based on what we have in Florida. Pandora is a very, very ambitious area, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Massive. Where, in your opinion, like, where are they going to put this thing in DCA?
I don't think it's going to go in Hollywood Land. I mean, that was everyone said it's going to go in that corner over there in Hollywood Land. I'm like, yeah, you'd have to stretch out onto into the transportation hub, which they're going to redo anyway. But I just don't see it. Doesn't fit there. I don't see it there. Not one bit. I mean, because I don't think they're going to change Buena Vista Street anytime soon. So how do you transition from Buena Vista Street to Pandora. I just don't see how you, unless you do it kind of like into Galaxy's Edge, the same kind of thing where it's like a tunnel kind of thing. Which, with the tunnel kind of thing, I think the best place for Pandora to go would be in the parking lot next to the Pixar Place Hotel, which we had David from Fresh Baked on our show a few weeks ago, and we concur that seems like the best place for it to go. Because, I mean, you have the space to put it there. Second choice would be, not choice, but possible spot would be probably taking out Grizzly River Run and putting it there, because that's a big space right there. But and it's water already there too, so it's going to be water based, it looks like, so it makes sense to put it there where there's already half the water.
Well, and it's interesting too, because if they were to go, because the going rumor with a lot of fan circles is Hollywoodland, but there's a lot of issues with that area, like
so much,
right? I mean, technically, yes, you're absolutely correct, Sean. Technically, you probably have the space if you go out into the bus load area, and even like that Uber drop off to the right, you could probably squeeze that in there, no problem. Sure. The issue though is that
how am I gonna get in the park then? That's how I get there, is that Uber parking. I don't want to go way back behind, but I guess eventually it's gonna happen anyway.
From what I've understood is that whole area is going to be completely blocked off. They're going to reroute another area, I think, on the opposite end of the resort for the bus unload, and the Uber section. And then as far as where everybody walks into the entrance now, you have to actually go across the street to where the carousel hotel used to be, where you have to then get onto the
escalator or whatever. Isn't there a bridge?
Whatever. Yeah. And it's going to make you kind of go.
Well, they're going to aren't they building a parking structure back behind all those hotels?
That's going to go back there. Yeah. So they're going to have a connection way from that. And then you're going to have to, I guess, go up on the escalator, across a bridge that's going to go across harbor, and then down into the resort itself.
Right in front of that big ass Portos. That's going to be there.
That was, we got some news on that today. That was kind of interesting. Yeah. That thing is huge.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's huge.
I hope they like angle it properly, because they just end up having people coming down off the escalator just go right through the window of Portos.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Mondo said this is another DVC tower. He said that's how big this thing looks.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. But the interesting thing too, if you cut too far into Hollywoodland, then you impact the parade route, which is a huge issue.
For sure.
So that's another problem with doing this Pandora thing in Hollywood. And
take out Monsters, which Monsters is a people eater. So, I mean, I know people don't think it's one of the best attractions, but it's still a people eater. It's gonna take people away. You don't want to take away rides or attractions that are going to take people. That are going to, you'll lose people. But I think with the Coco ride as well, you're gonna get some big people eater rides for sure. But I like Monsters Inc. and I like that area could use some work for sure. I mean, there's an empty stage there. Like the jet was there for Captain Marvel, but it's like, what can you do with this area? But it doesn't seem big enough for something like what they're talking about.
See, for me, in the very beginning, I thought that Zootopia would have been a perfect fit.
That makes way more sense.
To retheme for that. Yeah. I can still see that happening. However, a little bit of my thoughts and opinions have changed on that a bit based off of what I'm starting to see Zootopia 2 look like. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think that they would go the route to make a complete carbon copy of what is in Shanghai, because I don't think they can at the moment because of the agreement with the Chinese government or whoever the officials for Shanghai. And the same goes with Tokyo and Hong Kong and so on and so forth. And plus, I think with a lot of the kind of like police kind of like breaking out of the jail kind of thing, I don't think that they want to go that route. Sure. For California. But if you look at Zootopia 2, when we were at D23, I keep on calling it the Expo, but it's no longer the Expo anymore. It's the Ultimate Fan Event.
Ultimate Fan
Event.
I heard lots of people had some issues with that, but it's okay. That's a whole other topic. So.
But Zootopia 2 kind of gives off a like Don kind of like in a swampy marsh kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So for me, I can kind of see them maybe adding that into the Stitch parking lot, going beyond the Bayou, if that was the route, and they make a Zootopia land based off of the sequel. But I'm kind of going ahead of myself. But anyway, so being that I thought of that, it's like, well, if Zootopia doesn't go into Hollywoodland, what would I do with it? I would use that as a massive expansion pad for Avengers Campus, because that
I
land.
completely agree with you. Take out the Hyperion, just keep on going down, or use the Hyperion for Rogers and Musical Forever or some other kind of Avengers related show. But I completely agree with you.
Well, you could do Universal in Florida has a Bourne stunt spectacular show, right? Which I heard is actually really good.
Phenomenal show.
That'd be so cool if something like that.
Right? Like put that in the Hyperion, like some sort of Avengers version of that kind of show would be really, really cool, you know? So there's
they're copying a lot of other Universal things. They might as well do that too. So, I mean, let's keep it real, you know, I love Disney. I mean, I have Disneyland tattooed on my arm, so it's literally, but yeah, still they are copying a lot of Universal.
Well, they are. And you know, even that Avengers e-ticket, what is it? Infinity Defense.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, at least from what we've seen so far, we don't know for sure everything yet, but it kind of has a little bit of a Transformers, Spider-Man, Universal vibe based on those vehicles and what have you. So they are kind of dipping into some of this Universal stuff.
Why not? Whatever works. You know what I mean?
I mean, even Villains Land is kind of a little bit of a response to Dark 100%. Universe. 100%. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah. So Sean, you're thinking though, like your money's on Symbolot for this Pandora.
I just think so. I mean, why not take that empty space and like just put this massive thing in there to start it? But you know, did they say when they're going to start working on Avatar? Is that 26 or 25 or?
I see. That's the thing. I can't recall if they said everything would be done within 5 years.
Wow.
And we know Avengers starts next year. That was just announced at this Brazil Expo.
Right.
We know Coco starts in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said at the Expo. So that'd be 2026. Yeah.
And then it's including Cars, Monsters Inc., which is funny because everything's going to be done in 5 years, but yet nothing has been started.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you have to really think about this. You have to, I don't know how many cars the Symbolot holds, but you're going to have to, because obviously those two structures on the east side of the park aren't going to handle it. So they're going to have to build that other lot. They haven't even started that yet. Like they're going to have to do that before they do anything else to start parking, is to make room for this parking. And then you can, unless everything's going to go in the park, and then you don't know. You know what I mean? And where in the park do you put Avatar? Because I have no idea.
Even with, if they were to hypothetically still put Avatar in Hollywoodland, they still have to get the Eastern Gateway up first, because they can't run it into the bus unload area until they get the Eastern Gateway project up. Now, Coco I can see, because if they do Coco within the footprints of the backstage area where they keep the parade floats behind the pier, then they don't, I mean, they would have to reroute an area of where to put the floats, but they don't necessarily have to do anything specifically with Disneyland Forward.
I mean, the one thing with Avatar is, if you put it where Grizzly River is, you're not affecting anything else but Grizzly River at that time. So, and that's a huge space that encompasses, like, I've looked at it. It's like half the size of Galaxy's Edge itself. If you like look at it from above on a map, like, damn, that is a huge space, which maybe it fits there, but that'd be a weird view out of the Grand Californian of Avatar.
Yeah, that would be
you know.
And also too, the only pushback I would give to that is the structure itself of Grizzly River Run. I think would cost them more to remove it and then start from the ground up with Avatar than just start off like in a fresh spot like the Symbolot.
How come they don't answer these questions? Is this so they know people will talk about it?
You know, that's the thing that's kind of frustrating, Sean, with that, right? They should be saying, okay, this is where it's going to go. I feel like when they announced Galaxy's Edge in 2015, I think it was, we knew a good amount of that project. Not everything, but we knew a good amount on the announcement, you know? with a lot of these new announcements, they're holding everything real close to the chest. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know where Pandora's going. We don't know where Coco's going. I mean, and Coco is easy. I mean, Coco is one attraction. It's like they should know where that's going. That's not so difficult to like finagle into that park. You can easily, you know.
But again, if you're going to build a water ride, I mean, it's a flume ride looking like Pirates or Small World. Look at those two. Look at those two on a map from above. How big they are. Pirates is in 2 show buildings. That's how big it is, and it's like 60 feet underground. So I mean, you look at that. I mean, it's tough to decide how. You know, we're going to talk about Coco in a second, but you know, Bricky did a video about where Avatar could go, like in either park, and when he said dropping it where like, you know, where the monorail is and the submarines, I'm like, no, you can, I'm a Disney purist. I know you could one day it's going to go away, but you can't put it where Autopia is. You can't put it where the submarines are that they just spent 2 years of redoing. You know, I don't know. But I get off track a lot, so just reel me back in. So.
No, you're fine. And actually, it was surprising to me when they said, because I thought that was the route they were going to go. I thought they were going to do something like that, right? I thought it was more.
It made sense.
Yeah, it was more of a Disneyland kind of IP, and I can see it going in that spot because Avatar is sort of that perfect transitional between tomorrow and fantasy, you know. But then they're like, nope, it's going in DCA. I'm like, what?
I'm glad they at least said that at D23. They at least told you where it's going to go, so that cut off half of the speculation. You know,
that's true. That's true.
And for me, like, I love the lagoon for where the subs are.
100%.
Like, that would have been a perfect. Like, it's just so tranquil, and I love the aesthetics of it. Like, they can get rid of the big yellow turds. I don't care about that. Like, but like the lagoon, keep the lagoon. You know.
Yeah.
But I just. I don't know.
Shame
it just
on
feels
you.
like
The yellow turds are nice.
Yeah.
They're not. I never go on that ride because I don't like being down inside of a tube underwater. Even though it's 10 feet underwater, it's still too much for me. So now,
are you claustrophobic, Sean?
A little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I've been on it like for my grandson. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, just put my face in the hole and like, you know, don't look around and realize that I'm in this metal tube that if it did leak, I'm completely screwed.
If I had $1 for every time someone said that.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well,
you guys ever watch Jarendale on TikTok?
No. Oh, yes, I do actually. Yes.
He did a TikTok of him going on the submarines. It was the most. He was like, oh, he was like freaking. I'm like, bro, I'd have been right there with you if that was.
I'm not like claustrophobic, but just the structure of it, it's so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, it's
like your knees are hitting up into the platform in front of you. You have to lean in. It's pressing up against your chest. It's like
you're seeing you're fogging the thing. You're like, oh, now I'm good. I go like once every couple of years. I'll go on that. So it's like but
you can tell
it need to rush to it. So
yeah, exactly. You can tell it's definitely a product of like the 1950s. It was. Right, super small in there. One of the most claustrophobic attractions for me is Forbidden Journey at Universal.
Yeah,
I can't do those vehicles, and when they get you on your back and then you lean all the way in, oh man,
that's the best, bro.
Yeah, I do not like being in small spaces. I'm a big guy, so I don't like being. You can't put this in there, and no, I'm out. Tapping out. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's enough throw for anybody, it's best on your back.
Oh yeah, right. There you go, George. Absolutely. Always.
Go to the show. There you go.
There it is. Absolutely. But so Avatar, we got that coming, and now Coco is interesting because like you said, Sean, like that's a boat ride, and that's going to be a significant size attraction if it is what they're promising it to be, right?
Well, if they're promised in this huge like entryway and stuff, where the hell's that going to go? I mean,
I know, right? I mean, I guess people are saying the pier because you have all that space behind Incredicoaster.
Right. I forgot. I think it was who did a video about people voted on where it should go, and that was like the #1 vote. But still, like George said, then you're talking about the parade route, which if you guys saw there, you guys see there tonight, all the parade stuff, all the paint tonight stuff coming back. You guys see those videos on TikTok?
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's like driving down Harbor. I'm like, that's pretty damn cool. Like 2:00 in the morning, there goes Slinky. But I don't know. I mean, they could screw with us all and put all this over in the new spot, and like, okay, here you go. We messed with y'all. It's all going to go over in Simba Lot for this huge expansion at one time. But I do like the idea of behind. It is Pixar, so I do like the behind the Incredicoaster. It would fit there. It would be a nice spot back there because there's a lot of space back there. But I don't know. Then you're logistically wise. What do you do about parades? You don't do parades at Disney at DCA anymore, or I'm so excited for the Coco ride. So.
Well, we even were talking about too that they, and this happened a few weeks ago, but we just recently covered it. Talking about it on our live show, that they started holding open call auditions for the Together Forever
oh, really?
Parade, the Pixar parade. So we don't know in what format is it coming back in. Is it coming back because they may be bringing Pixar Fest back for the spring ahead of the 70th, or could they just be bringing back the parade a la carte for the 70th?
Just calling it that, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the greatest mashup would be if it would. I don't know how it even would come off visually, but to mix in Paint the Night with the Main Street Electrical Parade somehow, to do a combination of them both, I think would be cool. I don't know how you could do it to where people are like, oh, that's old, that's new, that's old, that's new. But like that last float, for when they redid Main Street Electrical Parade, pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be kind of cool though. I would like to see that, like a hybrid, and kind of mix them together, and that would be kind of because they brought the Electrical Parade back so many times, right?
Right.
Try something different, get a little creative, a little ballsy, right?
How old are you guys? Real quick.
Oh, dude, I'm in my mid 40s.
No, you're not.
I swear to God.
There's no. You guys cuss, right, on the thing?
Yeah. Just say
no fucking way you're in your mid 40s. Are you kidding
yes,
me?
He is. Yes, his whole family fond of youth.
Okay. So George, how old are you?
I'm 34.
I'm 51, so I love the Main Street Electrical Parade. I mean, that's my jam. I went back a couple of years ago, got the shirt that just hangs in my closet now that I don't ever wear for anything. But I do love Paint the Night as well. Paint the Night is just the greatest. They're so tough. We're going to see them both again soon. They bring them out. They're never going away. Electrical Parade will be back. You watch.
Yeah, it'll be back.
Yeah, the Electrical Parade will be back for sure. It's been resurrected more times than Christ.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy how, they brought it back a lot. They brought back for the 50th, which actually I loved that whole. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but that whole 50th kind of spiel intro that they did for that return, I thought was really special. They kind of tied in Walt's opening speech to the Electrical Parade intro like that. I thought it was really, really neat.
I loved it. I freaking that's the exit to all my shows is his speech to all of our shows on our network. It's literally his opening day speech. Every single one of our shows ends with it. We have like 10 shows as part of the network. But even our Star Wars show, not our Star Wars show, I'm sorry, that's the only one that doesn't, but our Marvel show ends with Walt Disney saying to all who come to every single show. But I thought it was a cool little change to it.
Yeah, me too. I love that parade. I love it. But I like your idea. Mix them up and bring them back. Bring it back. It's some promotional thing where we're mixing them together. It's a fusion, and they can even tie the soundtracks together in creative ways and have it weave in and out of the old soundtrack and the Paint the Night one. I think it'd be kind of cool. Now, Sean, do you think that we're gonna get? What do you think we're gonna get for the 70th in terms of all that? So we're gonna get Paint the Night, obviously, but you think we'll get fireworks or anything like that? Or
I would think so. If they could bring back Disneyland Forever fireworks again, that would be fine because those are probably some of the best fireworks that they've done recently. So that was, I think, for the 65th or the 60th.
The 60th.
60th, yeah.
They brought it back like 3 times. I'm an old school guy. I don't mind things being resurrected because I can go sit there and just stare at them over and over. I don't know what they're going to do for the 70th. I don't know. Can I go back to Coco for a second?
Sure.
Real quick. I think one other spot for Coco would be Hollywoodland. I think it'd be a good spot for it there, over in that corner. A Coco attraction, create the town plaza and stuff right there would be a great idea.
That's.
I didn't mean to go back.
Because
no, you're good. We call you OG, right? Is that what we call you?
OG.
Okay,
yeah.
Just making sure.
Because if you do push it back, like you had mentioned, Sean, earlier, if you kind of depict it with like Pirates of the Caribbean or It's a Small World, it's a massive show building.
It's huge.
So if they put the massive show building in where the bus unload area is, and then you have the facade where the entrance of where Monsters is, like you're taking that replacement, and then the rest could be, again, now they never really said that there's going to be a little village tied to it. I wish that they would.
I thought
It would
Bricky
be,
said that they were talking about there, or people are just hoping. I think that's people.
they're hoping for it.
Yeah.
Disney never really made that official announcement.
Yeah.
I think it would be a downright sin to just create a Coco ride without a little Mexican village.
Sure.
I think honestly, it's an opportunity waste.
Unless it's in the ride, you know what I mean. Unless it's actually part of the ride, but I mean, then you're taking away from whatever. But, I mean, you could do underground. I mean, like I said, Pirates being underground is.
Or you're right. They could do like an indoor-outdoor thing, sort of like how they do the Mexican pavilion at Epcot. So, the one thing for me that is so frustrating is they announced a lot at D23. They announced practically everything, but yet they announced nothing. Because, again, it's all uncertainty of where this stuff is going, but yet we were promised within 5 years. And as of right now, the only project that I could actually say is significantly like showing progress of moving is the Tropical Americas.
Yeah. So they say 5 years. Is that 5 years from D23 or 5 years from when they said that? They did say that last week or something.
I think they're saying 5 years from 2025. So you're probably looking at like 2030.
Yeah. I thought they would rush a few things for the Olympics because the Olympics turn 28. I thought they would rush a few attractions because the Olympics are in LA. So I thought they would try to get a few things done by then, but who knows? Still 4 years, but.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, Universal seems like they're getting pretty aggressive with that because I think from what we're hearing, they're building a new hotel over there.
Yeah. Well, Universal built a whole theme park in what, 2 years?
Yeah, the Epic Universe. They've been moving like crazy on that thing.
Disney built Galaxy's Edge in 2 years, so it's like, but how do they compare though? As well, you know what I mean? But there's a lot more detail in the Disney stuff, but because a lot of the stuff outside for Universal is like the roller coasters and stuff like that, which aren't as much. But they built the whole theme park in 2 years, so let's go.
Yeah, it's crazy. They move fast. They move really fast.
That's why I think maybe we'll get all this stuff just over in that parking lot because then they don't have to worry about taking something down. Like George said, the time to take down Grizzly River would be like probably 6 months to a year to just demolish it. Demolish it, take out the infrastructure, take out the water aspects of it, then start over. Then you're looking at another year. But you do it all over in the parking lots already. You just have to just get water over there and like do all your engineering stuff. So.
Well, it's true. Yeah, you put it over there, and then then you just have to do the Eastern Gateway project for the parking and that, and you're good to go. And then
they could do all that at the same time.
Right, and it doesn't really impact the guest experience because you already have that new parking structure already set up.
And where that would make sense, if they were to go that route, especially with Coco, is because with the Pixar Place Hotel, they're going to want to have something that kind of, even though that you can look at maybe at a certain like viewpoint window of certain rooms and you could see the pier. Obviously that ties into Pixar. Sure. But when they have an expansion of that area that's going to be surrounding that hotel, you can't really, I mean, you could, but I mean, if you're staying in a Pixar themed hotel,
sure,
you're going to want to have something that's kind of adjacent to it. That's fit with the Pixar IP, because you walk out of the Pixar Place Hotel that's engulfed with Pixar, and then you walk into like, exactly. It's like,
I could see. That's actually a good point, George. I could actually see them putting like Coco right there next to the hotel in that spot because they're building this. They're all around the hotel as well. I don't know if you guys listened to Just Ask Danny or.
Danny? Oh yeah, we love him.
Yeah, he had David on, his host from the beginning, and they just celebrated their 100th episode this last week. And David was saying, it sucks that I went to the Paradise Pier Hotel a couple years ago, like literally like the weekend they started construction on the new hotels. Like they had the walls up and they could hear stuff. But if you're up at one of those you're looking out over there, and do you really want to see construction as your view? If you're looking in the parking lot there, but David was questioning that. I don't know, but I guess you have to make the experience better, but.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. In the interim, the short term, you're definitely going to have that. That's definitely a con to that whole thing because those people are going to be looking at a construction site. But I tell you though, once that park opens,
oh God, man, I can't wait for all of it.
Oh yeah, and then but can you imagine what the price tag for that hotel is going to be then?
It's going to be Grand Californian-ish.
Yeah, every window has a park view.
If you can walk out of your hotel into Pandora, damn.
Yeah, like out of the three, that hotel is the cheapest.
It is right now.
And I think at the end, it's going to be the most expensive.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
I agree with you, George. Because I mean, the Grand Californian is great. You guys ever stay there?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've been in.
It's
Yeah,
I mean, when I was there, it was $800 a night for a 2-bedroom room. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous.
I literally just go in there. If I could be frank, I literally just walk in there just to take a shit.
Oh, that's fair. Great bathrooms.
Best bathroom on property.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a great topic for a show. It's just the best bathrooms. That would be just the ultimate. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was very cool. Like at the Grand California when we stayed there, we were facing literally like Grizzly River. So when they tested at night and like they're cleaning and stuff. Again, I go off topic, guys. Just pull me back. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't get to talk about
we
Disney
sit
with
here
everyone
all the
else.
time.
I have to make everyone else talk about it. So for me to do it myself, this is the best thing. This is like a dream come true to just geek out about Disneyland.
Absolutely. No, and you can definitely go off topic. Any direction you want to go with it. It would be interesting though to have a show on that, the bathrooms. That would be
There's a lot of good choices actually. I mean, in Disneyland, what would you guys say is one of the best bathrooms? I mean, let's just in the actual park.
Oh, in the park itself. Yeah, because Grand Cali is a great option. That's a clean.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. What's a good bathroom?
In the park.
Oh man.
I'll give you mine. What you guys think? So when you walk in on the right side underneath the train station, you walk up. You have that Disneyana, whatever it is, right front there.
Yeah.
Down the side there's like there's a restroom down the side.
Oh, in that little like back corner.
It's like that's like where you see a lot of cast members stuff come. That's a nice bathroom because it's a companion restroom, so it's big, so it's nice. I'm a big guy, so it's nice. I think the one literally across the way from there and underneath or next to Walt's apartment, right next between the
like City Hall.
Yeah, between City Hall and the apartment, there's those bathrooms right there aren't bad either.
It's interesting that you mentioned that when you walk in and to the right by the ATM and the Disney Gallery.
Yeah.
That's a great one because a lot of people don't know that that's over there.
I know.
So when you walk in there, the bathroom isn't blown up and it's not like disgusting.
And it's big. Like I said, it's a companion bathroom, so it's big, which is nice too. If you can take your space and
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good one.
That's worst bathrooms is, I don't want to say it's the worst, but I mean, like, unless you're just going in there to take a leak and then walking out, is the one like right as you're entering into Adventureland. That's like it sits kind of like where there's like a wall when you have to like walk.
Oh, but that's the one. That's one I always go to. But you're right; it's not one of the best. But it's like always just right there.
It's so convenient because
it's so convenient.
If you're like in between Frontierland or Adventureland, that's like the go-to one.
That's probably the one I use 70% of the time because I just know shit. That's right there. Okay, cool. And it's quick in and out. But if you gotta take your time, you gotta take your time. You're gonna pick a couple of other different places.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because as guys, right? Like we, if we just have to take like like a leak or whatever, right? It's easy peasy, easy to go in there. It doesn't really matter where you go, right? But like for females, they sit for everything, right? And it's like when you're sitting, like I know if I'm doing the other thing and I gotta sit, that changes the math a little bit, right?
Oh, but you can't be like this. You want to be able to like stretch when you're, but if you're like this the whole time, it's no. Bro.
Yeah, it's like holding back. It's like
oh man,
I can't really experience the full experience. Now that one over and up front, let me tell you, that's the place.
Yeah, it's like you're so tight in. It's like a prairie dog trying to come out of its hole.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
Yeah, and you're just trying to maneuver and get everything done, and then you're just so close to everyone else, and there we go.
Well, I tell you, Sean, I went to Walt Disney World for my first time about 1.5 years ago with this guy right here, and I don't know what it was. We were at Cosmic Rays, and I had a bad stomach ache, so I had to use the restroom over there, and that was a mistake. That one was maybe it was having an off day. Is that one usually bad, George?
No, that one's usually bad because it gets so much traction of people, especially families with young kids. And because in Florida too, also obviously they get a lot of rain. So Cosmic Rays is almost like a sanctuary for people that when it's raining, they just go in. So there's a lot of foot traffic in and out. So those restrooms are like, it's like a nuclear waste.
Yeah, it was gnarly in there, man. It was like, whoa, But yeah,
I'm sorry to completely derail your show, bro.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
You honestly say that this would actually be the shittiest part of the conversation?
100%, 100%.
There you go. Oh no, you don't have to ever apologize, Sean. We go off the rails. We did a live show last night. That was
That's
just
all
like,
we do, dude. That's all we do is go off the rails. It's just it's nice to be part of that with someone else.
yeah, it's fun, just keep it real, just talk about whatever's on your mind, So yeah, I like that stuff. I like it a lot, actually. So we'll see. But yeah, we do have some interesting stuff coming to the resort. Now, let's dive in a little bit to these Avengers attractions, because George, you had a concern with these, right? Because originally it was supposed to be just the e-ticket.
Correct.
But then they added the flight lab. So go ahead and touch on your concern, and then I'm kind of curious to see what Sean thinks about what you kind of brought to my attention about that.
So my concern was, as OG said, initially we were just going to get one big grand e-ticket, and they basically surprised all of us at D23 and said, you know what, there's going to be a fourth Avengers attraction. We're like, whoa, where's this coming from? And
where's it going to go?
And that's actually part of my concern, is because the way that they showed it digitally, like on like the blueprint of the map, they show it off to the, like, if you're looking straight off to the right hand side, as if where you walk straight into where Infinity Defense is going to be. So it's either in one of two places. It's either going to be where the Doctor Strange show is, or was, lack thereof, or it's going to be part of the expansion plot in the backstage area.
Yeah.
Now, my concern is whether it's going into where Doctor Strange is or in the expansion plot, because they're adding a whole nother attraction, do you think that then takes away some of the oomph, so to speak, for the Infinity Defense? Because if you really remember, in the first concept of Infinity Defense, we were supposed to have where we're like ejected from the jet, and I think that's where the Stark Flight Lab vehicles are coming from. I think they had already them ready, but because the budget got cut, it got delayed because of the pandemic and what have you, and they thought, you know what, we got all these vehicles, let's just kind of take them away, cut back on Infinity Defense, and let's just make Stark Flight Lab.
Yeah.
But it also seems like it's going to be taking part of that expansion pad along with it. So do you think that would then dilute Infinity Defense?
I loved the original idea of being in. I've never been to. I've never been to Walt Disney World. I went there when I was 16, so I don't even remember it. So it's like I was there when I was a bunch of kids. But from what I first heard about the e-ticket, was like it was going to be like the flight of passage that's in Walt Disney World, like where you're flying through Wakanda. That was the big idea. Thought that was a great idea. Then they went to like the mysterious boat ride. It looked like the second, and now we have this, the Transformer-ish looking. That doesn't answer your question, but I just, I don't know. I don't know. That space is not that big back there. I think it's going to take place in the Doctor Strange area, that they'll put the Stark ride. What a waste of the Doctor Strange space, though. They built that for this great idea they had when they opened the land. Like, damn, just a couple years later. I'm literally like, 3 years later? There's not even any shows there anymore now, right? So it's like
nothing.
And that was the problem with Avengers hallway. Campus.
Yeah.
The issue. I can't take credit for that one. That one is from our good friend Bricky. I mean,
that's a great analogy.
But that's the problem with that land, is because it doesn't have the potential that it should have, because technically it was supposed to go in Hollywood land.
It doesn't look like a campus to me either, with the Doctor Strange stuff there. So if they took that space and made it look more like a campus, like, because it's supposed to be a Stark's campus, right? That's the whole idea of, everything else is kind of square off, and you have, Guardians over there, which is even squarish. They're building the e-ticket back there. I don't know if it'll take from it. I hope not. I don't like spinning around. I hate the teacups. I hope you don't spin around too much, because I like to at least ride it once. But I'm looking forward to both of them. I was very excited by both of those announcements, that they're finally going to start doing something in it, because I think Avengers Hallway, which I absolutely love, is needs some love, because now they talked about Spider-Man not doing that anymore last week, and now they're going to continue to do it. Like, whatever. But
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. I think that they're going to dip into that Doctor Strange area.
Yeah,
I just think that I think the writing's on the wall with that. I think they're cutting back on entertainment, and I think they're going to utilize some of that space for that.
I wonder if they'll close off that walkway that gets you back to Cars Land. I wonder if they'll close that off and like cut it off to where, I mean, that's a long walk around to get around, but
True.
I wonder how they'll handle that.
Well, here's the other thing too. Even if, just to say, Stark Flight Lab goes in where Doctor Strange is now, you're still going to have to put in some sort of room for the queuing area.
Sure.
Because now they're going to have to put 2 queue areas almost kind of like back to back to each other, because it seemed like they're so close. So it's like, what does that do to even the main walkway when you're going back and forth between where Mission Breakout is, where you're going into Hollywoodland, as to where you're going to right off to where Cars Land is going into the pier, because that's a whole walkway. And then that's going to disrupt if they do the Wakanda little mini show.
Yeah.
People stand there and they watch Black Widow and Black Panther doing their thing. So what is that going to become?
Well, that's supposed to be the entrance of the e-ticket, right?
It's going to be right to the side of it. So so you're going to have people standing for those shows, and then you're going to have flocks of people trying to get in these 2 separate queuing areas. That's going to be a clusterfuck.
Virtual queue forever, baby. That's what's going to happen.
There it is. There it is. Oh, speaking of which, have you been on Tiana's yet, Sean, for that Magic Cube review?
So here's the deal. Like I said, I live in Stockton. The second day that it was available was the 22nd of October. I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do this. So I literally made my park reservation, and I said, if I get it, cool. If I get my virtual queue, I'll leave at 7 a.m. I'll be there by 12:30. Thing starts at 3, no problem. I literally got up, got dressed, got gas, sitting in my car, started it up, hit that button, nothing. I just took my ass back to bed because I wasn't gonna go down there just for nothing. But so I got a strike on my pass, but I don't go enough to where it'll affect me. But no, I haven't. But I have friends that have. Have you guys?
I recently did about 2 weeks ago. I really liked it. It was interesting because, I thought it looked good on the video, but I don't think the video does like the attraction.
A lot of
justice.
people have told me that. I had some friends. We were at this like convention called MouseCon up in Concord over the weekend, and one of our sponsors, where in the park, they were there selling their stuff. And I was asking them, they're like, oh yeah, it was really cool. But it's the same thing. The videos that I've been out there do it no justice. From what I've heard, it looks like it's going to be amazing. I didn't care for Splash Mountain because I got too damn wet because I'm fat. So I mean, it'll definitely be like. Hopefully, I can plan this and do it when I'm trying to come down next month just for a couple of days to see if I can.
You will, if you're in the first 2 seats.
Yeah,
you will get torrential downpour.
I have a picture of me and my 4 kids from Splash Mountain. And literally, I'm in the front row, and they're like, "Dad, you'll be fine." And the guy's like. Literally, the guy at the thing's like, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, they're like, come on, Dad, come on. Literally, head to toe, just drenched. And it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And I was, not fun. But I'll go on it because I want to see it. I want to check it out. It looks great. I've heard there's one spot of it where it's kind of like bland, like going right up before the hill. There's like a spot off to the right where there's like really nothing. I've heard a few people say that's the only downfall anyone's seen from it. But visually, I've heard it's great and it's fun too. So.
And the it's great. And the animatronics are there's no gaps like in the Florida version. It's like everywhere you look, there's an animatronic, and I feel like they're closer to the water, like the edge. I mean, did you feel that too, George? It felt like they like closer, like you could almost reach out and touch them in a lot of ways.
Literally, because I've been on both the one at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. You definitely feel like you're more up close and personal with the audio animatronics. They're like literally like right there by you. Where
right there by you.
I see you, George. Okay. George is a funny fucker.
But in Walt Disney World's version, you would think that you were like going on an Aladdin attraction because the audio animatronics are Jafar. So,
there you go. That was well done, George. Well played, sir. You got to respect that. Yeah, it was good. I'm very curious on your opinion. You got to hit us up after you.
I will for sure. I'm excited to go on it. It looks great. I I was one that was in full support of them changing that. So I get why they did it. I understand why they did it. Two of my hosts on my show, I have one host named Lewis that Splash Mountain was his favorite attraction, and to this day still is. And he played like, he was there like the last day of Splash. He's like, it's so hard. He's playing that song in the background, like he's just staring there in black and white. I'm like, bro, just let it go, man. It's nothing you can do about it at this point. But
yeah, and that's the thing too. And I agree with you, Sean, 100%. And here's the thing too, is like, I've said it so many times, like on the channel and everything, where it's like, and on Twitter and stuff, where it's like these parks, Walt Disney, when he built Disneyland, it was kind of built into the DNA of that park that it was always going to evolve and change.
Mm-hmm.
So as fans, it's obviously it's not realistic to like every change. We're not going to like every new thing, but that's what he wanted it to do. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to kind of embrace it. And look, some of the stuff you're going to like the older stuff more, and some of the stuff you might like the new stuff more. But at the end of the day, it's exciting that spirit of evolution lives on. Yeah. That Disneyland never will be completed as long as there's imagination, left in the world. And I love 100%. That. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny. I have a few untouchables that you better never ever touch. That's just my opinion. But I understand. Like when they changed Hollywood, Tower of Terror, I'm like, why would they do that? That's stupid. And then Guardians is one of my favorites now. It's my top 3. It's in my top 3 of attractions is Guardians for sure. I absolutely love it. I get sick on it. I don't give a damn, but it's just so much fun. Yeah. Well, when they changed that, I'm like, what a great change and what a great idea. But how long can that, if Guardians aren't around for that long, how long can it stay at that? You know what I mean? And you think about what they're going to do next. I mean, look at the Doctor Strange area. 3 years, not even 3 years gone. It's going to be gone. But you get rid of Pirates though, or Haunted Mansion, we're going to have problems. Oh, buddy.
Oh yeah, that'd be rough. Absolutely.
But the thing with the ride system is that was for like Tower and Mission Breakout is, I think it would be like one of the easiest transitions to
for sure
ride because
they did it in 6 months.
Yeah, literally.
They closed in January, and I was there the weekend it opened in May. So literally.
Oh, so was I. I
5 months.
went opening day, May 27th.
It was the freaking longest line I've ever stood, and I hate waiting in lines. So.
I did too. I went there real early in the morning.
But I'm glad I did because it was a lot of fun.
Me too. I was standing in Buena Vista Street. That's where I was standing in line for it, and this was just to get the fast passes.
Yeah, and that's when then you realize they have all those backdoor freaking like lines behind.
Yep, that's where they took us. They took us.
Holy crap! Where'd all this come from?
They took us to the back area, and then right across from where the attraction is, that's where they had the fast pass kiosks.
Yep.
And I ended up getting my one fast pass, and then there was this elderly woman that was standing there. She had 4 fast passes. I don't know why she stood in line the whole time, but for some reason she didn't need it, and she just kind of held them up like this and said, "Does anybody want these 4 fast passes?" I literally sprinted. I pushed kids out of the way and everything. I'm just like, get the hell out of my way. I ended up riding it 5 times that day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was always the one when they had fast passes, like especially with DCA, I would go with like a group of like 12 people, which is my whole family. We would come. We didn't go as much because we lived in I lived in Oregon then, but no, so we come down like once a year for our big trip. I would literally stand there. I would run to that little Radiator Springs, thing with all 12 tickets to get the fast passes, before. Yeah. And you hope they're all at the same time, and it's a shit show. But the fast passes.
Yeah, and it's crazy, Sean, because we recently went to George and I recently went to HHN Halloween Horror Nights over at Universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first kind of experience or foray into their Express Pass. And it was like night and day, man. It was like we were getting on this stuff like no way at all. And yeah, you pay more, but then you get what you pay for. Like the service 100%. Works, Yep. And at Disney, it's like it's weird because they got this lightning lane thing with the multi-lane, which you pay like $30 for or something. But now they also have the Premier, which you pay like $300 for, and then you all wait in the same line, which makes no sense, right?
Right.
It's weird.
But you can go on. You can walk on 25 rides, supposedly, roughly 25 rides. So yeah, I mean, I saw someone do it. I think I can't believe remember who did it. They did like a thing where they went on there and they put it out there that if they were to pay the $38 for the fast pass or the lightning lane, then you pay the $25 for the 2 other, for Radiator Springs and Rise. You're at $88. Why not spend $300 more if you have it and ride everything? I still think it's a ridiculous price, but if you have it, and I hope they keep it limited to where it's like you actually get something. I haven't seen many people, heard of many people doing it yet. So, but it's a lot of freaking money to. But if you go once a year or twice a year and can make that and can swing that, it's 25 attractions that you can guaranteed to go on when you want to.
Yeah, just knock them out. You know,
it's tough. It's a back and forth decision. You know, with how much they charge for stuff. But
now I wanted to go back a little bit because I know we talked about it for a minute, but for the 70th anniversary, when like obviously we're going to get the Walt Disney audio animatronic
that's
show.
The best thing I've ever heard.
Definitely.
That was the only announcement I needed to hear at D23.
Yeah, that was the crown jewel, I think, of the 70th anniversary for 100%. Sure. And then Paint the Night coming back, possibly, hopefully, a new fireworks show. That's what we were talking about. But also, it makes me still wonder of how much they are really going to do for the 70th anniversary, as far as not just like those three things, but like putting up like the decorations or having extra kind of things tied to it, because the 75th anniversary is a short time away, only a 5-year gap. And 75 years, I feel, is more significant than just the 70th. So it does make me wonder what they're going to utilize for the 70th and then offset it for the 75th.
The thing with that is, I wasn't the 65th in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to maybe pull out a couple of stops. I don't know how much. I agree with you, George. The 75th seems like way more important than the 70th, but still it's 70 years of you know, but I hope they should always pull out their stops. Are these every 5 years? They should. But going back to animatronic, I can't wait. That's just going to be the coolest thing. That's going to be the coolest thing in the possible world.
If they stick the landing on that thing and it looks like him, and then they're using his audio, that's going to be
he stands
surreal.
up and moves around. I'm like, holy shit, you know. And I don't need. Can you imagine the lines for that? What the lines gonna be like that for that, right? For not even a ride, an attraction when that comes out. All the people like us who do podcasts and love and YouTube for Disney, we're all gonna be like all the time, like, oh my god, I gotta go see Walt. You know what I mean? Then they're gonna split it up. No, they're not.
Well, I think for opening day, they might just have to do kind of like return times.
Oh, for sure.
Block certain amount of people for return times, because that building isn't fit to hold a big, large like queue line.
And that area isn't either. So, no. I mean, you're going to have people waiting, going out into the parking lot, going out into the Esplanade in line.
Exactly. Just back down Main Street. The bathroom.
Yeah. Right. They can use that cool bathroom. It's right there.
But to your question, I always wondered that too. I wonder how they're going to approach it. Like, they're probably going to keep the Walt Disney show running for a while for like the 70th, and then they'll re-premiere the Abraham Lincoln. But I wonder if they'll rotate it throughout the day, or if they'll pick one show per day.
From what I understood with the plans for it, they when they put the plans in, the engineering plans, they're building a turntable. So I think it's gonna be able to just go from one to the other. So like let's flip around, then it'd be Walt, flip on around the other side could be Abe. You know, because the Abraham Lincoln, that's a pretty cool, significant part of Disneyland's history as well. So I mean, if Walt touches on the animatronic of, I like you said, if they use his voice, well, they're going to. But I mean, but AI now, you're not going to know if it's his voice or not. But it's what they can do if it's anything like even just that. What's that guy's name on Rise? Hondo. Yeah, that guy moves pretty fluidly. If it's or the one in Navi River Run. That's what I've heard. It's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be crazy. Or even
as
Tiana.
far as them, I don't believe that they're going to use AI, because that was an agreement with the family.
Good.
That they even have the family kind of a part of this process. They're using a lot of audio footage that they're actually taking from the Walt Disney Family Museum. To incorporate it into the show.
If it's just one of his even things that everyone has seen 1,000 times, if it's literally like an animatronic form right there, if it's literally like him talking about Epcot or they show that video of him talking about Epcot, it's like the last thing he was filmed doing before he passed away, or I don't know.
And
what
I think
they can do with that is going to be just amazing.
And I think this would be a redemption time, because the AI hologram figure of Walt that they used for the 100th, the Disney 100 exhibit, it was cool, but he seemed still a little bit off. Like it didn't really seem like it was him. It looked like he was wearing a toupee.
Yep.
It seemed like that he was using like they used his like the chiclet gum for his teeth.
Yeah.
Like it didn't look right. Like it didn't.
I'm the biggest admirer of Walt Disney, like ever. I mean, I literally have the partner statue tattooed on my arm. So
nice.
You know, I have the statue, the castle, the Matterhorn, and Big Thunder Mountain all in one thing. So it's.
He was a brilliant. He was a.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I mean, we're never going to see another person like that ever again.
I completely agree. Like his work ethic. Tell me I can't do it. Fuck with me, and I'm going to show you that I can. I mean, just that whole over and over and over. Oh, I can't build this park for this much money. Okay, I'll find a way to get the money, and builds it. Now look where we are 70 years later. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Which is very funny, because people who are claiming that they're Walt purists, that they say, oh, like, oh, you can't do this, or they can't do that. How could they do that? They can't turn they can't take part of the rivers of America to turn it into Galaxy's Edge. How could they? Literally, Walt Disney's whole entire career was based off of, no, you can't do it. But yeah, you're right. He just turned around and was like, in his nice way of like saying, fuck this shit. Like, I'll show you that I can
Fuck around and find out. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They told him he was crazy when he did Snow White. They told him he was crazy when he did the theme park, you know?
He's like, okay, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. Exactly.
Hold my beer, absolutely.
Absolutely. Or in his case, hold my Scotch Mist.
Hold my.
You
guys ever been to Tam O'Shanter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went there for my 50th birthday last year. Some friends took me, and we got to sit at that table and have the Scotch Mist. Great.
Nice.
George and I
we were there. We were there like last January, and I don't know what the waitress put in his beer, but go ahead, George. I think she tried to roofie you or something.
I think so, because we went to we actually did like kind of like the triple threat. We went to his Walt's barn in Griffith Park. We got to see like the train, the steam engine and everything. We didn't get to ride the carousel or anything because it was very rainy and cold, but it was cool to see like the nostalgia part of like Walt's barn. And then we went to the cemetery, and we got to actually go to his resting place, which
is powerful, man.
It was so powerful. Like we couldn't even put it into words of what that like.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that for my birthday, but one of my hosts, he said, I'm going to put together this amazing thing. So we started off the day. We went to the studios, took me to the Imagineering building, and then we went to then we went to the Walt Disney, the Symphony Hall, and then the concert hall, and then we went to the cemetery, which was just damn, you know what I mean? Just like I stood there for 5 minutes, and my friend walked up. She said, "You okay?" I said, "No, just give me a minute." And I just stood there and just like
we did the same thing too. Like it was like literally no words.
There's pictures of me like they stand there just staring at literally his grave, and the way that the place they have it at, I'm getting chills thinking about it. You know, it's like this guy was literally it's right there. You know, and then we finished it off with Tam O'Shanter,
and that's what we did. We finished off with Tam O'Shanter, and I tell you what, as I said, I had.
That's some good ass prime rib too, man. Woo.
Oh, that's what I got. I got the prime rib, like the best prime rib I think I've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
But the beer that I had, I can't remember what beer I had, but I tell you what, I could hold. This guy knows. I could hold my alcohol. But I tell you what, that one beer, man, I was almost like as high as a kite.
Wow. You know, she wanted you. She wanted some Italiano.
Yeah, she did. Oh, he was giggling like a schoolgirl, man. I mean, I couldn't believe this guy. In the car ride home, you were like,
I was laughing. I was laughing hysterically over nothing. Like I had tears pouring down my face. Just
you got roofied, bro.
You did.
Yeah, the Scotch Mist was not even good, but I just drank it because that's what they said his drink was. I'm like, it's all right, but it was just that's what he drank, so I'm gonna drink that. Let's go.
That was his thing: Scotch Mist and his chili.
Yeah. Where are you guys located at? I mean, if you don't know if you say just in that area.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm actually about from Tamil Standards. I'm like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I'm
Where you
close.
guys? I mean, like you guys are just in that area. So you're in the kind of valley area. Okay.
I'm in the valley. Yep.
Okay, right on. I'm
I'm
originally from Simi Valley. So I was born and raised in Simi Valley.
nice, nice.
So,
And this
I'm
guy,
currently right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
really? You're
Mhm.
not local?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of people think I am because literally I live like a local out there, but for how many times that I'm out
Yeah.
there. But yeah, no, I'm actually going to be moving out in about 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually I'm now in a current relationship with someone who's been watching the channel since the very beginning. Watched
That's
my
awesome. Good for you.
first time I had a secret admirer on the first time on the show, and we just kind of connected. She came to our first Orange Grove 55 meetup back in
That
August.
is
And,
awesome, man.
yeah.
I actually have two hosts that actually started dating, that are dating now, been dating for a year. And literally I played wingman for one of them. He's like, "What, will you ask Courtney if she likes me?" I'm like, dude, I'm like 50 years old. I don't but I'm like back and forth on Messenger. Courtney, if Joey asked you out, would you say yes? And she goes, "Yeah, I think he's kind of cute." They were both drunk when I did this. I'm like, so I just created this group mess. I'm like, "Here, well, you're welcome." So now he calls me the greatest wingman of all time.
that's awesome. And you know what's crazy, Sean, to think about? I was talking to the Italiano about this on last night, and Mr. Webba, on a live show where we were talking about how because of Walt Disney, right?
Mhm.
This man who was born in 1901, all of these friendships that we forged, all three of us, the relationships, like your two hosts, George and his girlfriend, right? I mean, the channels that we have, right? And it's amazing how much how much that one man has impacted so much of all of our lives.
Oh God, yeah.
For many
Right.
generations.
I
For
completely.
centuries.
I'm divorced now, but my four kids who were raised on Disney still love it. They take my grandkids all the time, and it's just it's everything. It's a complete. Everyone says. I always ask people when I get you guys on, I'll say, "What's Disney mean to you?" You know what I mean? And it's family. It's family, and that's my whole podcast. I have 14 new family members. That's the way I look at it. Is that we're just family, and
That's beautiful.
and it's just, and then we're all brought together by this one person,
Yeah.
by this, we're brought together by the window to the apartment. So that's what my whole thing. For a couple of years, we were Light in the Window Productions. That's what we were first called because that's just it's Walt Disney's a fucking stud.
Yeah.
And then everything that came
and
from
honestly,
it.
with me being an Italian and growing up with a big Italian family, we do for family because it's all about respect.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is interesting. So, okay. So George, I'm kind of curious, Sean, if you don't mind me asking. So,
No, you're
okay.
fine.
So you said you got divorced a few years ago, right?
My divorce has been finalized for a year. Yeah.
For a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So for you personally, so for the Italiano, we've talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
With relationships, he said he needs someone that's really into Disney, right, George? Like you need someone who's into this, like,
Yes.
Yeah. Are you the same way, or are you kind of a little flexible with that, or do you need a woman who is very much into it, or just maybe doesn't just someone who doesn't hate it?
I tried the training. It didn't work.
I just want someone that supports what I do, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, they don't have to be. I mean, because obviously the three of us, with our knowledge and our whatever, totally would blow anyone away. I mean, I take people to the park. I'm like, you know where this is? Do you know where the bathroom is over here? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? So no, I don't need that. I would love someone to be supportive. Would they, if they are a Disney fan, it'd be a lot better. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but it's part of my DNA. It's not going to change. So I would love to find someone that is in that same mindset, which isn't that hard. I've had people reach out to me from the podcast as well. So I get where you're coming from, George. So it's,
Yeah, 100%. Excellent conversation, fellas. Sean, you're always welcome on OG55. We'd love to have you back on, and I'm looking forward to.
Don't tease me about that, dude, because I don't get to, like I said, I don't get to play it this way too often. I'm usually over here clicking, because when we do our live show, I'm reading the comments and people are making comments, and I'm like answering the comments, and I'm trying to. One guy's always says, "Sean, answer me." Sean, answer me. Like, hang on one second, I'll answer you. So this is nice to just sit here and not have to look to the right. or say, hey, we do a commercial break, because I play commercials for my 3 sponsors, and during the show and stuff. So yeah, this was awesome. I'm glad we figured it out, and we got to get you guys on. Even the live show, we have an Imagineering show, which you guys would absolutely.
Oh, nice.
It's called Imagine That, which is literally just we have shows for every one of your Disney fixations as well. So I mean, you name it, we have a show for it. You ever seen Undisputed on ESPN?
No.
Where they argue back and forth, they get topics and they argue.
Oh, interesting.
We have one show called Mad Tea Party that literally Lewis comes up with a couple comments and we just argue. Lewis is the one that's the Splash Mountain lover, so it's always fun.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that idea. That is absolutely brilliant. So
I wouldn't mind like coming on at least like one of each topic.
That's 10 shows, George. You okay with that?
Oh, I'm good. All right. I'm the Rocky Balboa. I'll go.
Are you a Marvel fan?
I like Marvel, but I'm not like a diehard into like the lore of Marvel.
Right. I'm a huge Deadpool fan. I just watched Deadpool before. I finished Deadpool before we did this. So
nice.
But yeah. OG, how about you? Marvel?
I love it. I love Marvel, Star Wars. A lot of Disney fans don't like how they've been incorporated into the Disney family. My whole philosophy on that is, because I hear a lot of this talk about how, Star Wars isn't Disney or Marvel isn't Disney. I'm like, yeah, but, theme parks weren't Disney until they were, right?
Sure.
Animated movies weren't Disney until they were. Live action movies weren't Disney until they were. Like the whole idea of Disney, even when Walt was around, was constantly evolving and changing. And I think you need to do that, and I think bringing Marvel into the fold, and look, superheroes are very much kind of like the John Wayne cowboy of today's time. In the 50s, it was the cowboy thing, and now it's Iron Man.
I hope Deadpool stays in the park. Is he still there?
I think he is, but
I hope he stays forever.
Yeah, I actually got to see it. The story time with Deadpool.
That's got to be
flipping for awesome.
I love it.
I just love that character, man. When it happened, when they said they're gonna do the movie, I'm like, well, damn, it'd be great if you could have Deadpool in the park. And my hosts are like, you're out of your damn mind. I'm like, it'll never happen. And I said, fuck you all. The minute that they announced that, they're like, all right, Sean, you were right. But yeah, that's my guy, dude. Deadpool. It's like my spirit animal. So it's like,
oh, he's awesome. Yeah. And he's took over the parks panel at D23.
That was great.
And one of the best lines was like, I don't mean to sound like a broken Yeti.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But Sean, thank you for coming on, sir.
Absolutely.
Always a good time, sir. If you could let everybody home know where they can find you on social media.
Just literally, easier thing is just Google Walt's Apartment Podcast. We're there on Instagram. We're on TikTok, barely, but we're on Instagram. We have a live show every Wednesday night where literally we get together with our host, and then we have, like I said, the other 9 shows, which will feed any of your Disney hunger. We have something that will definitely take care of that for you. But I do. You guys are so awesome for letting me come on again. I really appreciate it. You guys,
no, absolutely.
George, thank you, George.
Yeah, George, the Italiano. George, world famous outro. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You could find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There we go. All right. And now, Sean, we're going to close it out, but we have this lovely woman who does our outro for us. And people always ask us, like, who is that girl? Is she are you guys dating her? No, we're not. No, George and I are not dating her. She's actually like a fashion model. And I'm like, okay. I want to get like a really attractive woman to do our outro for us. I was talking to George about it. I reached out to her and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, just a disclosure, because people do
Kylie
ask.
Jenner wasn't available at the time.
Kylie couldn't do it?
She couldn't do it. She couldn't make it.
That's fair. I have Walt do mine, so it's all right.
There we go. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.